So I'm really pretty happy with this model. However, if you look really closely, if I click on the IP layer, actually, if I just hit 4 here, you can see that while it matches this side of the face, it's actually a little too wide. And actually, I think the whole head is a little bit too wide. But that might be distortion from the camera as well. Just something to be aware of, because I have modeled this half and it looks pretty accurate. Okay, so I mean, you can play around with this, and actually sometimes it can be useful. I don't really want to get the eyes involved here, but it can be useful in terms of if I wanted to just making it a little bit asymmetrical, right? And I'm just squeezing that in a little bit, which might be kind of great. Might add a little bit of sort of making it look a little bit more real. Now, having done that, so one side face is actually a little bit flatter. However, it did make this bulge out there in terms of the eyes. So I'm going to work on that a little bit. I'm going to use a different tool. So I'm going to turn off my IP layer for now. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the Sculpt Geometry Tool. And let's bring this up. And what I like to do sometimes is use the pull, but then I auto smooth to 2 levels. And then what I do is I go to stroke and I do reflection and a reflection across X. So it's doing that. Okay. Now I'm going to hold down B and just increase that a little bit. And as you can see, because I've got the smooth up quite a lot, I can now, even though I'm actually pulling, it's actually smoothing at the same time considerably. Okay. So something to be aware of. I'm going to just, it's actually, so you want to be very subtle with this. You don't want to overdo it, and obviously save a version before. But you see, even though, you know, I do have it on pull, I am kind of actually decreasing. It is actually smoothing. It's kind of doing it in very small increments. Now, one thing I really don't like is that. There was kind of a bulge here at the back of the neck. So again, I'm kind of just smoothing that out. And it still looks, so I'm going to actually go into smooth and see if I can smooth the neck out, because it was really, there we go. It was kind of, now you want to be careful. You don't want to overdo it. Yeah, because I think I've overdone it now with this. I'm going to go back to pull and kind of smooth while pulling. Another good thing is that some of you may have created kind of a bit of a ridge here on top, so it's kind of good to sort of spread that out a little bit. It's very subtle what I'm doing, but it can be really nice. Just rounding things out, spreading them out. Okay. Might want to go, got to be careful though, going in behind here. And notice that this tool, you know, as you may already know, only works over where vertices are. Okay, it won't pull anything. It won't pull like right in here in the gap. Okay, that's actually pretty good. Let me just round that out a little bit. Okay, and the one thing I'm noticing here is I'm going to hold down B to make the brush smaller, and it's kind of hold down B even more, and I kind of want to just flatten the lips out a little bit. Actually not bad. There we go. Oop, something happened. It got a little off. Uneven. Oop. Okay, so this is a really cool sort of finishing tool. I still feel that there's a little bit of a ridge there, but now the face is looking a little bit better. Around around the eyes is still a little bit. Let me go back to this tool. Let me use smooth. Oop, a little too strong. Let me bring it to 1 and bring the max displacement will depend on the scale of your scene. So hold down B, and I'm just kind of, and that was probably a little bit too much. There we go. Okay. Hold down B again. And I'm going to pull. Okay. Just click away from there. Not crazy. The eyes feel a little bit too bulgy. Let me just go in here. I'm going to take this vertex, and I'm also going to take this vertex. It might just be this one because we squashed it down, so I'm going to just move that out a little bit. Still feel that this is a little bit squashed. Let me go back into here. And I'm just going to select that. And then I want to make sure that I am not selecting anything in back, which I am. And I just want to pull that in. There we go, looking a little bit better. Okay, that done. I'm now going to just take this vertex and flatten that out. Go back to object mode. It's looking a little bit better. And maybe go into there, go back into this, and let's see what happens. There we go, that's kind of flattening that out. Okay, good. Back away. Looking pretty great. I'm going to go in here. And you could just keep, you know, tweaking this, you know, getting rid of some sort of kind of, maybe in this case, creases that are a little too much. So I'm kind of just, and if I select this now away, there we go, that's looking a little bit better. Ultimately, I would want to sort of maybe tweak this a little bit. This feels almost a little sticking out. Just going to push that in a little bit. And again, I'm going to use smooth now. There we go. Just a little, the creases were a little too hard. That's looking quite a bit better there in terms of my face. And I have to be honest, I'm not too sure that what I did here in terms of let me just get rid of reflection for a second. I'm going to do pull, and I'm going to try and pull some of this. Let me go into point 2. Yeah, it just was a little bit too much trying to squash the face. All right, and there is my model. I do like looking at it with the edge groups on. Let me just go in here now and with it selected, let's go to this, let's go to pull down B, and I'm going to reflect again. There we go, just rounding that stuff out. Great. And there's the finished modeled head.